It is January the 2nd, 2023, and I planted these apple rootstocks a couple years ago, and since then I have forgotten what they are. I believe they are M111s. There's either M111 or the MLA 26. Anyways, I believe they're M111s. And last year I didn't have any luck with trying to propagate rootstock. Ooh, I can't think straight today. Propagating rootstock by what they call mounding. And so I'm going to try it again, and I may be doing it the wrong time of year. But like this one here, there was there's 4 main suckers coming up off of the stump of that apple rootstock that I had cut back. I think. I don't know if this is... Yeah, that's just one, looks like there. But anyway, so I've mounted them up real good. Them start only about this far off the ground, down there where the stump is. So they have that entire amount there under soil. And over here we have the same situation. And we have 3 of them. These are all smaller, but there's 3 individual suckers. And I've done the same thing. And to show you what I'm talking about, I'm fixing to take you over there, and I'm going to try the same thing on I have a orange rootstock, Trifoliate Orange, that has been out here for 3 or 4 or 5 years. And I have rooted some cuttings off of it and used them to graft citrus onto. But I'm going to try doing this, what they call the stooling method on that. And some rooting some cuttings. So I'll show you. I haven't put the dirt around that one yet. And the reason for this pot like this is not only so it's a pot with the bottom cut out. It's not only to raise the soil level around it, but to do it, so that it has soil contact with part of the sucker, which will promote root growth. But it does it in such a way that this spring or early summer, I can take that pot and lift it up, and all the soil can be just scattered down, and it makes it easy to get to the roots. And I'll be able to just cut them off down at the bottom and then give them time to grow more suckers and just repeat the process. That's the plan. That's the way it's supposed to work. Let me go show you this Trifoliate Orange. Okay, so here's the orange, and it's been in this pot for several years. It's grown out the bottom of the pot, actually, into the ground, but it has been sitting here for several years. And I took and trimmed it back. It was way up here a while ago, and I trimmed it back. Took the main trunks, and it already has suckers all over it. And so you see where they all come from the main. Well, I can't pick that up kind of. From the main branches here. And I will just fill this thing up with soil, and any of them under soil level should, hopefully, I guess citrus will do the same thing. I don't know. This is an experiment. And hopefully this will cause this thing to root while the branches are still being fed by the root system of the main tree there. And in the process of it, I'll be taking some of these nice pencil-sized diameter shoots that I had cut off, and cut them down into some cuttings that I can try to root. I may stick some around this and put some in the greenhouse. So that's basically... Now, a lot of people will use sand, or coarse sand, or just some sawdust or wood chips or whatever. What I'm using is just some leftover potting soil, and it's a very lightweight. It's been raining all day on this stuff, and it's just like, okay, it will hold a little bit, but it's lightweight. It's not real heavy stuff. And That's what you want, something light that the roots can get off into. Them new fresh roots. I've heard of people just using regular dirt, and it just lift that pot off, and you know, you have all the roots exposed, or you can just cut it off when you want to harvest them, and then let it grow up again, more shoots, and start the process again next year. If it works okay on these Trifoliate, then that'd be a good thing. I'll start doing that for the few that I need, rather than sticking cuttings and, you know, taking a chance on most of them failing. So anyways, just wanted to show that, and I'm gonna fill this pot up with soil now. So I wanted to show something here. When you're these Trifoliates have a lot of thorns on them, and pretty good ones that'll really get you good. So when you're, and I already have this pretty stuffed, but as you're filling it, rather than having to stick your hand in there and try to tamp down that dirt, make sure it's in there good, you can just sit there and shake the pot, tap it, and that's going to settle down in there pretty good. And then rainfall and stuff will do the rest of your work for you. Make sure there's no air in there. So we'll see what that does. This spring, we'll see if, my thinking is on this, I'm not sure about the season, but it's well, supposedly winter. It's pretty warm out here in East Texas right now. Probably upper 50s here on January the 2nd. But my thinking is most plants that I know of, trees and stuff, will spend their winter months growing their roots more, expanding their roots underground. In the spring and summer, they're busy growing leaves and branches and fruit or whatnot. So winter time, when they defoliate and all them sugars and juices and saps go back down to the roots, that's when the roots can grow. So my thinking is now's a good time to do this. If you're experienced with this and it's not so, you can let me know, but I've already started, so I'll probably just let it run its course. But I do welcome any input for sure. So anyways, and I'm gonna try to clip a couple of these cuttings and just stick them around in there, so maybe they'll take with it. Okay, so I just cut a bunch of cuttings out of that pile of branches, and there's not much left, so I could probably get, I know I could get some more cuttings out of it. There's some in there that's big enough, but I think I'm just going to do this year. You see all these around the edges, I've stuck them, and you can stick these pretty close. I mean, it's not going to affect nothing. So this spring, when I start getting a bunch of new growth and everything, I'll come in here and I'll pick that bucket up, and we'll see how many new little trees we've actually got. Do this. Stick this rod down all the way into the soil beneath. Maybe that'll help it stay in place. So there it is, my Trifoliate Orange that I'll use for rootstock for other citrus trees whenever, depending on how many I get out of there, if any. So same thing with them apples. I'll use the rootstock off of there. I've got several variety of apple that I'll be wanting to graft onto that. And so I've got grafts on some of these apples back here in my pears that I actually have too many varieties on one tree. Not that they won't produce, but they won't produce enough of each variety. When you have, you know, 10, 15 varieties in one tree, you only get a limited amount of apples of each variety. So I've showed this in videos before, but I mean, you got, every one of these tags represents a different variety, and I've got them all over this tree where I've grafted them in. And I actually need to loosen this. That's digging into the wood. But Yeah, but it was digging in all right. It'd be all right, it'd heal up. But right there was my graft union where I stuck in 2019. It's been a couple years. I stuck these red Bitingheimers, I can't even pronounce it. It's like a German name. But anyways, I'll put this back on there looser. So I've got them all over, different varieties. There's a variety called Hawaii that was grafted onto here in 2020. And right there, that swelled up spot, that's where I put the variety called Hawaii, a small stick, probably wasn't no bigger round than some of them. And put it on here, and it's healed up and growed together and become one with this tree. And you know, we've got that a little bit everywhere around here. These are Gala apples, and I grafted them way up here, but right there's where that was grafted. Two different little sticks were grafted on the end of the same branch there, and that's where I got that fork at. And same thing happened here. You can see where I inserted it, and it's healing up. So same thing here. And them are Jersey Mac apples. So anyways, that's what the plans are for these rootstock that I'm got going on, and trying to propagate different varieties of apples. I lost one right there this year, but this one here is a semi-rare. It's a Watts limber twig, and right down here I grafted it, little stick on there. Then last year I removed the top and kept these branches to start my shaping of my tree, so it'll look better than that one when it's older. So anyways, and I've got more trees. There's another apple where you see all the aluminum tags hanging on it from here. Same thing with that pear, and there's a pear right there. So they all got tags and they got grafts. So I'm gonna have to, over the next couple years, I want to start getting more rootstock, and only getting maybe 1 or 2 varieties per tree left together. 2 varieties is okay. You can make it where they'll cross-pollinate each other on the same tree, so get more fruit set. But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed that. It was a kind of a rambling long video, and wish me well on that what they call the stooling or mounding method of obtaining rootstock. Actually, I need to do it here on this older tree. This is on M111, and I've got some suckers, and I hate promoting suckers around an existing tree, but I may go ahead and here pretty soon put some pots around. There's 2 suckers here and 3 or 4 right there, and get me some more rootstock like that. By the way, this tree here was originally, and I do have original branches on, branches that I leave from the original tree to produce their fruit. That was a Molly's Delicious apple variety before I started on M111 rootstock, before I started adding all these other, and I don't even remember how old that tree is, probably 6 or 8 years old minimum, maybe older. So anyway, it's starting to rain on me. I'm gonna get out of the rain. I gotta get this tag put back on there if I forget where it come from. Hope y'all enjoyed it. God bless.